The movie begins with John Wick and his unnamed pit bull sprinting through the streets of New York City. He has less than an hour remaining before he is officially declared excommunicado, which means he will no longer have access to hitman services, and the $14 million bounty on his head will come into effect. He enters a cab, leaving the dog to be taken to the Continental, where Sharon will care for it after giving the cab driver a token. John then heads to the New York Public Library. Following the librarian's directions, he discovers a book that contains hidden marker coins and a crucifix necklace. A solitary hitman named Ernest enters and attempts to kill John, resulting in a struggle among the bookshelves. John ultimately grabs a heavy book and uses it to strike Ernest, dislocating his jaw and ultimately snapping his neck. Afterward, John goes to see the doctor to tend to his injuries, but he cannot complete the procedure before the hour expires, putting his life in jeopardy. John finishes stitching himself up, but before he departs, the doctor advises him to shoot him in specific areas to create the appearance that John coerced him into assisting. He then flees through Chinatown, where he is pursued by a gang. They end up in a warehouse, where a fight ensues, and they discover an array of knives, daggers, and other sharp weapons. Despite their attempts, John throws knives at all the thugs before hurling an axe into the leader's head. Continuing his escape, John seizes a horse, using it to dispatch some thugs by having it kick them in the face before mounting it and riding through the streets. Thugs on motorcycles attempt to pursue him, but John quickly deals with them. John arrives at a theater where he presents a crucifix for entry. This location serves as a hideout for the Ruscaroma, an organization that seemingly trains hitmen from a young age, and it is likely where John acquired his skills. He encounters the director, a member of the High Table who has known John since his youth. She addresses John as Jardani, which is his true name. He hands the director the crucifix necklace, enabling him to travel safely outside of New York. The Continental is visited by the adjudicator, another member of the High Table, who comes to address the situation following John's violation of the hotel's rules. She meets with Winston and informs him that, since he granted John a 1-hour head start before his contract expired, he has 1 week to resign as the manager of the Continental. In a similar manner, she approaches the Bowery King and instructs him to step down for providing John sanctuary when Santino placed a hit on him. John travels to Casablanca, where he is initially attacked by hitmen until one guard intervenes, recognizing the purpose of John's visit. He is then escorted to meet an old acquaintance, Sophia, who is accompanied by her 2 loyal and fierce German shepherds. He presents her with a marker stained with her blood, a result of John's efforts to protect Sophia's daughter and keep her hidden. Although she is reluctant to assist John, she ultimately agrees. He seeks to find the elder, who holds a rank above even the High Table and has the authority to lift John's excommunicado status. The adjudicator identifies an assassin named Zero and assigns him and his team the task of locating and eliminating John. He readily accepts the assignment. Subsequently, the adjudicator and her men visit the director. Due to her assistance in helping John escape, the adjudicator has the director's associates killed while compelling her to demonstrate her loyalty to the High Table by running a blade through both of her hands, thus paying with her blood. Sophia brings John to meet Barreda so that he can provide John with the location of the elder in the desert. However, John will only agree to meet him if the elder decides to seek John out himself. Barreda then insists on receiving one of Sophia's dogs as compensation, but when she declines to surrender the dog, Barreda shoots it. Although the dog was wearing a bulletproof vest, Sophia is furious, prompting her and John to retaliate by attacking Barrada's associates while the hounds begin to bite it, including Barrada's. Sophia then shoots Barreda in the leg before she and John take one of his vehicles. The adjudicator pays another visit to the Bowery King, who asserts that he has no plans to step down. As a consequence, the adjudicator orders Zero to slash the Bowery King 7 times. Sophia drives John out to the desert, but after fulfilling her part of the agreement, she leaves him there. John wanders through the desert until he collapses, at which point he is discovered by the elder. The elder understands John's purpose for being there, and it is only when John expresses his desire to survive in order to honor Helen's memory that the elder shows interest in assisting him. John pledges his loyalty to the elder by severing his left ring finger and offering his wedding ring as payment. The elder informs John that he will revoke his excommunicado status if he eliminates Winston. John consents. Upon returning to New York, John is spotted at Grand Central Station by would-be assassins, but they are quickly dispatched by Zero's men, who wish to preserve John for Zero to kill. John fights and defeats Zero's men, even being pursued by them on motorcycles across a bridge, but he successfully evades their firearms and katanas before eliminating them. Zero nearly catches up to John and almost apprehends him until they arrive at the Continental, where John is officially on hotel grounds and cannot be harmed. Inside, Zero confesses that he is a great admirer of John and that it would be the ultimate honor to kill him. John approaches Winston for a meeting. He is aware that John has received orders to eliminate him on behalf of the High Table. Nevertheless, Winston presents him with an option. John can proceed to kill him, continuing his existence as a killer, or he can choose to live as a man, in accordance with Helen's wishes. At that moment, the adjudicator arrives to confront both individuals. Winston stands his ground, and John declines to carry out the assassination. Subsequently, she makes a call to declare the Continental deconsecrated, which permits killing within the hotel premises. Winston then reveals his cache of weapons to John and Sharon, while he remains secure in his safe room with John's pitbull. John and Sharon engage in combat against several High Table assassins, who are clad in robust Kevlar armor, prompting Winston to provide them with armor-piercing ammunition. The confrontation results in heads being blown apart and bodies being perforated with bullets. Once all the other assassins are eliminated, John is left to confront Zero and his crew. The henchmen hurl John through numerous glass displays until he manages to gain the advantage and dispatch them, leaving only Zero standing. The two engage in an intense duel, but John ultimately prevails, driving his sword through Zero's body. Zero, even in defeat, considers it an honor to be slain by John. As dawn breaks, the adjudicator proposes a negotiation with Winston. They convene on the hotel rooftop, where she offers Winston the opportunity to remain at the Continental, but insists that John must be addressed. In a surprising turn, Winston appears to betray John by shooting him multiple times, causing him to plummet off the roof to the ground below. The adjudicator reconsecrates the hotel and prepares to depart, but she takes a route through the alley where John fell and discovers that he is missing. She informs Winston, and they come to the realization that John remains a significant threat. John is subsequently rescued by Tick-Tock Man, who transports him to Bowery King in his hideout. Upon seeing John's condition, Bowery King expresses his anger towards the High Table. He inquires if John shares his sentiments, to which John affirms that he does.